Jason's eating a banana right now.
I also just farted.
No!
I didn't actually fart.
Okay, good. That wasn't a double lie, right?
That was actually a double lie.
No!
That was actually a triple lie.
I don't know what to believe anymore.
I didn't fart.
Okay, good.
Just now. So that doesn't mean I didn't
Jason,
fart.
Jason, you're literally, what's the word for this? You're gonna give me like a, what's it called? You're gonna dissolve my sense of reality.
Hey, that's a cool way of putting it.
This is just a thing I have now. Ever since, like, when I last mentioned it, my left shoulder just always hurts in the morning. And then after a while, it just resolves. But I don't know. I'm not sleeping different. Nothing's different.
It's probably because your left shoulder needs extra nappy time.
How do I nap my shoulder?
No, well, I'm just saying it needs a little bit more time to wake up in the morning. It's putting in hours on the WASD, bro. I mean, don't give it credit where credit's due.
I haven't been WASDing because I haven't been gaming. I've been programming.
True. You don't play games anymore.
I ain't about that life.
We'll never play Portal 2 together because...
No, I'll find a way. You just have to believe.
We'll never play Portal 2 together.
No, never say never.
We'll never play Terraria together.
No, that's actually sad. Both of those were going to be our first Let's Plays on the channel. We actually have an unrecorded, unedited Let's Play we did of Enter the Gungeon.
I would like to play that.
Did you ever send that to me?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
Or is it just on Google Drive?
Pretty sure I sent it to you.
I'm not sure. It
might be through Google Drive. Anyways, that is a fun game. We could play that again. Also, nothing is stopping us from playing Terraria, and I really want to.
If I do this weird thing, you can't see me right now, but I look like an evil,
It makes your shoulder feel better?
Yeah.
Okay.
I look like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. I'm hunched over, and my fingers are
I've been craving Terraria.
Oh, I think I fixed it! Usually that's only temporary, but it stayed. I think it stayed.
I've been craving some Terraria lately. I've just been...
Dude, you're addicted to that game.
I really want to play Terraria.
You literally 110%ed that game.
No, I didn't anymore because they added new achievements.
No, but that's why I said you 110%ed it. Because every time it's impossible to 100%. Because every time you add 100% it, they're just going to add another percent. You've 100%ed it 10%
no,
over.
I haven't played it enough to experience all the new features that they've been adding. Because they keep updating the game, even though they keep saying that they're done updating it. Because... The developers of that game are just too based. Did you see?
Too based.
Did you see that Redigit, the developers of Terraria?
Oh, that's what you're gonna bring up.
Donated, what was it, like $20,000?
Yeah.
Each to Unity not Unity.
Yeah, that would be the opposite. Because of Unity.
To Godot and whatever the other engine was.
Yeah, I forgot.
It's like an indie developer guy who made some.
But it's crazy. Hold on. Jason's taking another bite of the ASMR.
By the way,
that probably just made half of our audience.
Dude, you are peaking the microphone over and over, and I know it's because I'm here and you're getting excited.
I'm sorry.
You gotta keep it down. I'm the co-host, by the way.
Oh yeah, we're and I'm the bro host. Welcome to the Escape Podcast. We're actually here in person again because it's his fall break. That sound right there. That was me slapping him in the shoulder.
Unnecessarily.
In person.
Ow. Yeah. Ow.
It's you got a bad shoulder?
No, you're stinging my skin.
Oh. I don't know.
You're hitting far. You're almost on my neck. How high you're hitting?
Dude, I fixed my shoulder. I've never gotten it to fix like that, but it's gone. Let's go.
I was like, how does that relate?
I broke your shoulder, but I fixed mine.
You just completely disregarded my pain.
Okay. Going back to Terraria's developers being based, donating to Godot in response to the Unity drama. Speaking of the Unity drama. We had an entire gaming-themed podcast, last time? That was last time, right? Yes, it was.
Yeah, specifically focusing on the bad parts of the gaming industry.
Yeah. And
completely failed to mention.
And then when we stopped it, I was like, how did we have an entire thing that was mostly focused on the negative aspects of the gaming industry in the modern day, and we never even passively brought up Unity? It was crazy how it just completely slipped our mind. Because I knew about it at the time, and I assume you did.
Well, maybe we just had to let it like, what's the word, marinate a little more? Because now it's essentially... Well, it's like essentially...
Well, I know now that they went back on
It's essentially concluded now, so maybe we can talk about it like...
Yeah,
this is the best time to talk about it.
People who haven't heard about it at all.
Not only did they go back on it, I don't know to what extent exactly, but I know they went back on it. Also, the CEO stepped down.
Yeah. I didn't hear about that.
Yeah.
But I was trying to backpedal you a bit there, but you kept powering through, which good for you. I was interrupting you, but for good reason, because to anyone who doesn't know about the Unity drama, they're like 10 steps lost.
I know. I was about to... I wanted to finish saying why we should talk about it now. And now...
This is hilarious. You should eat a banana every podcast.
And now we can...
And make monkey faces like that. He's
and
like
now you're the one that's prevented...
You're funny!
Explanation. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay.
Explain.
Okay, I'll explain.
Mr. Explainer.
Okay, so Unity basically out of the blue, and I tried to skim through, because Critical...
Well, what if they don't know what Unity is?
Unity, one of the most popular game engines out there. Especially for indie developers who are like trying to make larger, like say 3D projects.
Yeah.
Just randomly out of the blue, although not so randomly, because I tried to watch Critical's video, where he like explained some of the background with somebody else's help, and I got lost in all the business terms and stuff. But apparently the stock has been being thrown around, and new people have been joining onto the company, including someone who was previously like the head of EA.
Yeah,
like,
that's the CEO.
Yeah.
He was
EA.
He was the guy who was at EA and then said that the ideal, or I guess what's the word? Like the best practice microtransaction is making them pay to reload, because in the heat of a battle you're not money sensitive. Like you're not sensitive to thinking about it when you have to reload.
This is exactly what we were talking about again last podcast. I don't know how we didn't bring this up.
He's that guy that literally birthed the whole meme about EA being like you have to pay to.
I heard somebody say, and I didn't get to Jamie into this. We just use this term all the time now, Jamie, as research. We need a Jamie. We're putting out applications now for a Jamie. If you're a professional Jamie out there, hit us up. But I've heard somebody say that like EA was actually like voted like worst company to work for in like whatever industry field or something at some point. And I don't know if that was like an exaggeration or they almost made it sound like it was a real thing, but I could believe it. Or just worst company in general maybe. But there's so many bad things you hear about them. But anyways, under his new rule at Unity, they decided to make it so that you pay royalties to them for any game you publish using their engine, essentially. And that's correct.
Well, right? I mean that's expected.
Well, not royalties. It's like
you're not really explaining the depth of the issue. Obviously,
that's actually because Unreal does that too. But what is the word?
Obviously, you pay for a license to use Unity.
Yes.
It's not just free software. Like they're developing it for a profit. But previously, what it is you just pay for a license, and there's different levels. Like there's a personal development and a professional development license. So like big game companies would have a professional development license, and that lets them pay like so much per year. To just develop games and release them.
Yeah.
And there's no extra charge on top of that. It's basically just a licensing fee. The thing that they did was make it so that now you charge, I guess you could call it a royalty, per installation of the game that you release. So every time a user decides to install your game, it's like a something cent charge.
Not even
to Unity.
Every time it's purchased, every time it's installed.
And which is, exactly. It's especially bad because they even said at first...
Like, that is the most you could potentially milk this
The obvious question was like, well, what if one person buys my game and installs it on two different devices, like a laptop and their desktop computer? Or what if they install it and then they want to reinstall... Or, what if they uninstalled it, but then they want to reinstall and play it again? Does that count as two installs? And at first, they were like, yeah, 100%. Every single installation, doesn't matter who's the owner, every single installation will cost you money. A royalty that you have to pay to us. And then the obvious thing was like, any bad actor
Yes.
who wants to
Could just like
drain your wallet can just
sign infinite
install
checks
bomb.
from the developer to Unity.
Yeah, literally. That they have the power to essentially just donate your money to Unity by just pressing install. Just wild.
And yeah, royalties was an okay word, although it doesn't sound as
But
bad
you
in
made
that
like
context.
it's royalty for publishing the game. That's fine.
Yeah, because that
is
is already
that makes
existed.
money.
And obviously, you're using their service. Like I said, Unreal has already done
But
that.
per install is crazy.
Yeah, that was the word I was looking for. So sorry if I dropped the bomb and it seemed like it just fizzled out. Thank you, Jason, for actually.
And I also get, I could also get them charging you based on how well your game does.
Yeah,
because that also makes it fair to indie developers who don't make a lot of money.
Yeah, it's to scale of like how much it contributed.
The problem is that their system that they propose for doing it is so obviously broken in so many ways.
It's I mean, it's that mentality. You just want the money. It's like, how much can you get out of this? How much can you possibly make this?
Like I want to believe that they kind of knew how bad that system would be, but they're like, I mean, it doesn't hurt us, it hurts them.
Yeah, I'm actually incredibly surprised that they backed down from it, because this seemed like one of those decisions that's so bad that like you're already never going to survive the PR, so you might as well go through with it and like make the quick money off of the terrible system. But they actually backpedaled. And we'll get into that because I did want to touch on one thing before we go into them backpedaling.
Well, the other thing, arguably one of the worst parts of it as well, is that they initially said that it was going to be a retroactive fee as well.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
So any installs that they had already recorded for games even released like 5, 6, 10 years ago
and
would be eligible for the fee
that's
retroactively, which is insane. I think that is the one that they reversed on quickest, because that just doesn't even make sense.
That always makes me think of, even the law doesn't do that. Like that's like in our Constitution or whatever. You can't, charge someone for something that didn't exist.
And realistically, you can't, because at that point, I mean, basically somebody could just say, no, I don't agree to that. And just take down the game if they need to. But you can't force somebody to pay a retroactive
this is becoming the business practice, because, and maybe not the business practice, because what I'm about to say next isn't exactly a business thing. But, YouTube did that thing recently where they were, the system about if you say one curse word at the start of your video, it's demonetized. And that was initiated retroactively. And that used to be a line that people didn't really cross when they made these kinds of decisions as a business. But now it seems like they're just okay with it. But people are not okay with it. But it's possibly becoming normalized now, which is scary. And speaking of business decisions, I wanted to touch on this too before we go into the end of the story, because this sort of what's the word, service model is this isn't exactly a service model, but it reminds me of the service model in that it's trying to get as much money out of the user using a product as a tool, like or subscription model. That's the word.
Yeah.
Like how I think I got mad about this, but didn't, don't quote me on this if I'm wrong, but didn't Game Maker Studio go to a subscription model at some point?
I have no idea.
I feel like
Do you want me to Jamie it?
You could.
I don't know much about Game Maker these days.
I think they backpedaled on that too, though, or Game Maker 2, because the newest one. But I know Clip Studio Paint, I think, is doing that now, and I got kicked out of...
Most software does that now.
Yeah. Well, I was about to say, Microsoft Office kicked me out.
Adobe Creative Cloud, all of the like major software, like they're all subscription services.
And the thing is, I hate it because it feels like I'm being cheated because I'm not paying for a different product. I already have it. But at the same time, it is a service in that I'm continually allowed to use it and I'm constantly getting, use out of it. I don't know if it always feels fair because it doesn't equate to like someone else's work. It's not like they're like, we're keeping this service up for you. This service you can use offline and don't ever even update, because I rarely ever update software. This is a real struggle. If only somebody could compensate me for it. Like, no, I just have the software, so it feels kind of wrong to have to pay a subscription to keep using it. But at the same time, I get it. Like, I am continuing to get value out of it. So you could argue I should give something in return.
Yeah, I don't think it's the worst thing. I think it's just annoying. Actually, I think it makes most sense for software, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Because software is constantly updated and is constantly consumed by the consumer.
Yes.
So I think software is actually the best use case example for a subscription-based service. Where I think it stops making sense is where now you've gone to like movies and TV shows.
Yes.
Where that is a product that you develop as one whole thing and you release it.
Yeah, it's literally a product.
Like, it doesn't make sense to pay a subscription service to watch movies when the movies themselves are not made on a, like software is updated regularly.
Yeah.
As I said, movies are just
It's not a tool or a service.
It makes more sense to just buy the movie.
It's just a product. It's just a finite set of data. But,
well, if you want to know about GameMaker, they have a free option. They have what's called a creator option, which is $50 a year or $5 a month. That's not terrible. They have an indie option, which is $100 a year or $10 a month. And then they have the enterprise, like business option, which is $800 a year. And it has stuff for making development on mobile, web, and console.
Yeah. But...
So, like, that's not the worst prices.
Yeah. When I first thought that it was just a straight-up subscription service model, the first thing I thought of was how Undertale was made in GameMaker 2. Or no, Deltarune is being made in GameMaker 2. And I'm sure... Well, actually, that might affect their profits because of how long they're taking on that game, you know? But that's what...
Okay. I think Toby Fox is... It's safe to say he's a
multi-millionaire. Yeah, I'm not saying it's going to put him out of business. I'm just saying it would be considerable compared to, like, for the game profits, not for his profits as a person.
No, I mean, it's like maybe at this point, what, like $5,000 that he's spent?
Well, I've never financed the game, so I don't know.
Dude, he has made millions.
Dude, I've actually been wondering about that because, actually, this is a thing. We're breaking the topic a bit, but you were talking yesterday about, we were talking about Baldur's Gate and how it's almost like a double A game. Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about the first one, or if there even was one. You were telling me the complex
one and two I was telling you about.
But, that had me thinking, why don't we ever say, like, single A game developer? And I was thinking that, like, I
have said that before.
That should be what we call indie developers that are, like, extremely established and well off. Like Toby Fox. He's a single A developer.
I sometimes do that as a joke. I'll be like, A games. A games. Because it just sounds funny.
Okay. But going back to the topic, I was going to say, but this is why this seems particularly off with me, because I can eventually get behind the subscription service model. Although with how many people have made the push to it, it seems like it's just a marketing move to make money. Less so than, thinking that this is actually, like, a logical move that everyone should make. But, like, this pay to install, like, what are you providing as an installation that needs compensation or that counts as a service?
Exactly.
That's where it's obviously just a move to make money. That makes no sense.
That's the first thing I thought. If you know anything about how computers work,
yeah.
If you know anything for even a second, you're like
anything for even
exactly what you said. It's like it's not practical. Installing is not some kind of service. Installing has nothing to do like. Unity is
completely unrelated.
How many times somebody installs a game has nothing to do with Unity's bottom line? Like, at all. It doesn't make sense at all.
But then going off to that, they did, like I said, surprisingly backpedal after, everyone said essentially the same stuff we've been saying to some degree. And I think now they're actually... sort of have a surprisingly generous system. I think the royalties, again, just for like game sales, like you said is actually the standard, is actually less than what Unreal Engine is asking for. So.
Well, I don't think it's even game sales. It's just a license to use the software.
Yeah.
But I can fact check what their plan is now.
Oh yeah, but I was gonna briefly touch up because I was talking about how it affects Toby Fox specifically, and that it wouldn't really. But when this first happened, this shook up a bunch of people who were, like indie developers programming in Unity. They're like, I gotta pay what now? Because we were talking about how you can like literally just like scam infinite money out of the developer into Unity's pockets. Mm-hmm. Like you could literally just kill an indie developer. You could just kill him if you wanted to. The game company that I was working for as an internship, like however many summers ago. Their game is in Unity, and so they were like, "Oh no, this is the end times." And my friend who wants to program a game just as for fun and as a hobby, he hasn't started much on the actual programming. He's mainly been doing like level design, mapping out, and art and stuff for it. But he said he wanted to do it in Unity, so for a second he was like, "Oh no!" And this, while Jason is researching something,
I can read you this whole Mark Witten. I don't know who that is.
I don't know who it is either.
But some guy
We're gonna
at
have
Unity.
to do Jamieing inside of our Jamieing.
Mark Witten. Actually, let me click on his name. Maybe it'll tell me. Mark Witten, president
Of
president, create. He's the create president at Unity. I don't know what that means.
Bro, that's actually hilarious. That reminds me.
That's like some. What's the word? Like
we were going through our work.
Professional speak.
We were going through our one of our software that we're using at my job, and it was somebody was asking to add like admin roles to access something, and they were checking off boxes to do it, and instead of administrator, they spelled administer, and it was so funny. It was like it was an action instead of a title.
Okay, I'm gonna read this, as he calls it, an open letter to our community by Mark Witten. He says, "To our community, I'm Mark Witten and I lead Unity Create, which includes the Unity game engine and editor teams. I want to start with this. I am sorry. We should have spoken with more of you and we should have incorporated more of your feedback before announcing our new runtime fee policy. Our goal with this policy is to ensure we can continue to support you today and tomorrow.
No, because that doesn't relate to any of that.
And keep deeply investing in our game engine. You are what makes Unity great, and we know we need to listen and work hard to earn your trust. We have heard your concerns, and we are making changes in the policy we announced to address them."
And they did.
So it sounds like the runtime fee is still a thing, but it's heavily modified, and here's how. Our Unity Personal plan will remain free, and there will be no runtime fee for games built on Unity Personal. That's big. You can use Unity completely free, and it says we will be increasing the cap from $100,000 to $200,000, and we will remove the requirement to use the Made with Unity splash screen.
Oh.
That's huge. So, in other words, you can use
huge.
Unity completely free. You can make up to $200,000 on a game made with Unity free without having to pay them anything, and now you don't even have to have the watermark that says Made with Unity on it.
Dude, they backpedaled hard.
That's pretty major. For like really small developers. I mean, you can make $200K for free. No game with less than $1 million in trailing 12-month revenue will be subject to the fee. Okay. For those that's a lot of money to make before you get the fee. For those creators on Unity Pro and Unity Enterprise, we are also making changes based on your feedback. The runtime fee policy will only apply beginning with the next LTS version of Unity shipping in 2024 and beyond. Your games that are currently shipped and the projects you are currently working on will not be included unless you choose to upgrade them to this new version of Unity. We will make sure that you can stay on the terms applicable for this version of Unity editor you are using as long as you keep using that version. For games that are subject to the runtime fee, we are giving you a choice of either a 2.5% revenue share.
Yeah, that's what I heard, 2.5%.
Or the calculated amount based on the number of new people engaging with your game each month.
But revenue share, that would be by sales, right? Like I said?
Yes. Both of these numbers are self-reported from data you already have available. You will always be billed the lesser amount.
Oh, okay. But that's what I was going to say. The 2.5%, if I remember correctly, Unreal's was a 5%, so double.
Yeah. So
See,
there is the revenue share thing, but that makes so much more sense than the runtime fee. It makes more sense to have a revenue split.
But this is why a lot of people are giving up on Unity regardless, because obviously they backpedaled because of the backlash, but the same guy is still making decisions. Well, actually, no.
No, the CEO stepped down.
Wait, the same CEO, EA guy.
The EA CEO guy stepped down.
Actually, maybe.
He sold, did you hear, he sold a bunch of Unity stock before they made the announcement?
Oh, yeah.
Because he knew it was going to go terribly, and then he left.
Dude, that's insane. A lot of people have lost...
And guess what? He's probably going to get a new CEO position somewhere else, because that's how it works.
A lot of people lost trust in Unity regardless, but honestly, this is like huge consumerist win. We killed the CEO. This is like a fantasy scenario.
Yeah, except,
we kicked him out.
Again, he's just going to fail upwards to some other position
Honestly,
and ruin some other company.
Would he really? Like imagine you're an equally greedy guy, but there's this guy, and he's like looking to get into a position like this, and you're also in the company. And his last thing he did was a huge flop. He joined.
Jonathan,
made a bad decision,
Gentlemen,
got kicked out.
How did he become CEO of Unity after what he did at CEO of EA with all the microtransaction stuff that everybody
Because they
hated?
worked, though, didn't they? I mean, everybody hated them, but they worked for a while.
Not really. They also got EA into lawsuits about, like, the microtransactions and gambling stuff.
Oh, no, you're
remember?
right. I do remember that.
Like, I'm pretty sure that was overall terrible for EA.
Well, it was kind of like I said about...
EA's reputation is still damaged from that.
Well, no, that's kind of like what I said about how I thought they were just going to ride through the bad PR of this, because, like, it's such a bad move that, like, you just got to capitalize off of the stinginess and then ride out the bad PR. That's kind of what EA did. Like, they profited off of those systems for a while, while people were still hating on them for it. And that's why I do feel like it might have still been profitable in the long run, and people might have seen value in what he did if they were, again, only in it for the money. But they didn't even do that this time. Like, they made a terrible decision, backed off it before they could even profit. I don't know. I don't... At the very least, I'd be hesitant, even if I was completely greed motivated.
I think you'd be surprised how it works.
We'll see.
When you've been the CEO of 2 major gaming companies like that, it's just sort of like you've got connections, you've got ins everywhere.
Okay, well then this is our next battle. If he gets hired anywhere, we got to kick him out again.
I mean, the problem is that the higher ups are like stupid. They're just like, I know that guy. He's
got words on his resume.
He's a big
Look at the big numbers on his resume.
Yeah, so literally that's how they think. Like they just don't think normally. That's how it works.
That's why everything's getting replaced by AI, because they're already smarter than the people who have the most control.
Honestly, bro. All right, well, what do you want to talk about next?
I wanted to say...
You have so many topics.
I was going to go on a rant when you were lulling, though, for a second about, this is why I'm programming my own game engine. This is why I make nothing. I'm programming my own Microsoft Office equivalent. I'm going to program the entire world.
Yeah, how is that game engine?
No one will have any power over you if you just do everything yourself. You want something done right,
I'm
do
sorry
it yourself.
about your ears.
How's it coming along? I will finish it, but I have an expected release date of Deathbed 2089
you know what we should talk about?
Something.
Did you see the new Patreon logo? Speaking of, like, stupid corporate moves.
Oh no, I didn't.
Can I show you the new Patreon logo really quick? So for those at home who haven't seen it yet, oh my goodness, did they undo it? Did they undo it? Wait, their website doesn't have the new logo. I don't know if they undid it or if they just haven't updated it, but that is the new Patreon
Just like
logo.
a little curved blob.
It is an amorphous blob that barely
and
looks like a
black
pea.
too. They don't even.
There's no color. It's
this is actually cool. I was thinking about this because we talked all about how bad X was, and their logo. It's black. It doesn't have a signature color, and it's just a letter. But it had me thinking.
And Patreon was like, dude.
Yeah,
I love that.
We glossed over it because, it didn't even seem like worth bringing up as a competitor. But with how stupid X is now, I don't think it's going to fall, but it's at least worth making the comparison. But Threads, which we were comparing it to at the time, just as stupid. Theirs is literally just an @ sign.
Yeah.
And it's just black.
Yeah.
On a white background.
Oh my goodness.
Is this the future? Like, forget the oversimplified logos, like where Firefox doesn't even look like a fox anymore, and the Google logo is like, has no sheen on it, and it's just bubble letters. Like, we're just gonna have literally black characters on white text.
But if you want...
every logo is gonna look like my logo on my face right now.
If you want another, I think a really good description of what it looks like, I mean, you can just look it up, but if you're like listening and like riding a bike right now or something, you can look it up. It literally looks... It looks either like a liver, like the silhouette of like a liver. You can see it, right?
Yeah, like
literally just
like
a blob.
bean or something.
Yeah, like a bean. Or it looks like a painter's palette.
Yeah.
Without
the holes in the paint.
hole, but it's like the shape of like a little painter's palette. It's literally just like a...
actually, hold on. That's smart. They could put the thumb hole in there, and then it would look more like a pea because it has a hole.
And
then
they could match the aesthetic.
And they could make it orange, which is close to the brown of the palette. They would keep their signature color. They would have a logo that simultaneously represents their brand name and what they're trying to do. Oh my goodness! Hire us! What's going on? What's going on?
Dude, actually, that's like the perfect logo that we just created.
Hold on!
But all things aside, looking at these 3 logos that they've had,
it looks like pop.
I still remember when they moved from their original logo to the second logo.
And everyone hated the second logo.
Yeah, and because
it doesn't even look like a P.
It looks terrible. It's just a line and a circle.
It looks like who was the guy who just painted squares? What was that art movement called?
That guy who
it looks like that.
Squares. Yeah.
Yeah, that was his name.
But yeah, for real, like I've already hated Patreon's logo ever since they changed it from the very first one they had, and now they somehow made it even worse, and I just think that's crazy.
But like, you made it sound like they did it as a joke.
No, I'm just saying their website. Oh, there it is. It is updated there.
No.
Yeah.
So that's legit. That's what they're going with now.
Yep.
But like, that's the thing. That's not even like the simplified. You could argue, yeah, that it's too hard to recognize from a distance. Now this is unrecognizable. It's a grain of sand in the desert. It's like it's just a slightly amorphous circle. Like, this can't be the future. Like, I always hated this. I open up the Google folder on my phone, and I just see a bunch of rainbow swirlies. I cannot tell.
This is a loud episode.
I cannot tell what is Gmail. I cannot tell what is Chrome. I cannot tell what is Gmail. Google. I cannot tell what is Maps. I cannot tell what is Drive. I cannot tell what is Photos. I cannot tell what is me.
I cannot tell
They're
what is
all
Gmail.
just circles.
I cannot tell what is mail. I cannot tell what is female.
They're all exactly. I looped over them because I couldn't tell which ones I had already looked at. That's how bad. Look at this folder.
You're so lush.
They are all just red, yellow, green, blue pinwheels. This is awful. And that's at least within one brand. Like, Google's brand logo is still at least okay. But, like, even within that. But that's what all logos are starting to become. I can't tell the difference when it's just a white character on a black background or vice versa. It's so dumb. I can't live in this world. Do you know how hard it is for me to...
They were going to make it even worse. I think I saw at one point there was some...
It was just going to be a black
There was
circle.
some proposed changes they were going to make to the icons for the Google stuff. And you know how, like, Google Docs is, like, a blue sheet?
Yeah.
Like, blue sheet of paper looking thing.
Yeah.
Sheets, Google Sheets.
Yeah.
Is, like, a green spreadsheet looking thing. They match, like, the colors of Microsoft Word, kind of, or Microsoft Office. I think I saw something where they were going to make everything, like, every single Google icon would be the red, blue, yellow, green colors in some shape. So literally every single one of your apps would be red, blue, yellow, green, and you would have to completely just go based on what shape they're making.
Oh my goodness!
But they didn't do that.
Why? People know how powerful of a tool color coding their like application for noticeability is. Like, people will pay bank for like Pantone registered colors for their business. Why are we resorting now to using the same color for everything, or just black and white? This is like, objectively, like, this is a measurably bad business move. What is going on behind the scenes?
It's just stuff like this always makes you realize that no matter how big of a company you have, no matter how many, like, stupid positions you have, like lead color analyst.
Lead color analyst.
Like, there's probably somebody at Google who's like the lead color analyst, which is like a subsection of the design team, you know. I mean,
now he just gives a thumbs up every time they pass another sheet of black paper.
They've got so many employees working at these huge companies that you think that there's no way they can make a single thing that's less than perfect.
Yeah.
But after all, it just shows that no, they just, like, it's literally just as good as what two guys could make in their backyard.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said backyard, because you're probably not making logos in your backyard. But
well, it's certainly not better than what two people can make in their brother's bonus room office.
A podcast.
Yeah, because we just made the better Patreon logo. Dude, literally, let's come up with a service right now that is like a competitor to Patreon. Keeps the P in the name. And then let's just steal their logo. Steal their hypothetical best logo from them, from our brains.
Can I give a quick...
And use it for ourselves.
Can I give a quick Butter Dog update?
Oh, yeah, you were telling me about this. Hold on. Mute the microphone. I got phlegm.
Okay. So
it kind of bugs me when people do that, but I'm one of those people sometimes.
If you remember, several podcasts ago, I was talking about Butter Dog, this guy who eats like raw...
Oh, yeah, that's like several podcasts ago.
Like a long time ago. He eats like raw meat and stuff, and he eats straight up sticks of butter.
Yeah.
And he sort of like was acting like it was like real. Like, he hasn't backed down from the bit.
Yeah.
He still hasn't admitted that it's a bit ever. He's very...
But his face does keep turning red.
He's very attached to this joke. I'm just here to tell you that before I was like, there's like still like an inkling of doubt because of how resolute he is about not admitting that it's a bit, that it's not a bit. It is 100% a bit now. Like, he's completely given up all...
But is he still doing it? Like, is he still...
Yes. He's completely given up making it seem like it's not fake. Here, I'm just going to play this for you really quick. This is... And again, most of his things are just testicles. Like, as you can see, they're just bull testicles. But here's one I saw the other day that made me think of him.
What?
Let me not get us copyright.
Oh, good point, dude. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to edit that out. But now it's just us staring in silence.
Well,
you have to give me that video. I'll put it on the screen.
Yeah, you can put it up. So, to recap what just happened, I actually don't even know what that is. Some weird-looking piece of meat.
Rotten flesh from Minecraft.
He puts it in his sink just for fun, so that it falls down the drain. He pulls it back out with his hand, out of the sink drain.
Dude.
Without washing it, he throws it into like a mini griddle, like a waffle iron type thing. Barely cooks it. It's basically still raw. Dumps a bunch of maple syrup on it, and then takes a bite out of it raw. And again, you don't even see him bite it, like, even once, like, in his mouth. You see him put it in his mouth, and you know for sure he just spit it out afterwards, because he's literally raw meat that went down his sink. So, in other words, he is just completely given up. Like, there's not even a question anymore about...
What is it? Is that a testy? Yeah, those are testes.
It's sprinkles on testicles.
Chocolate sprinkles on testicles? Dude, he chewed that one. That was multiple chews.
Yeah, but there's no way he
Is the doubt returning?
No, there's no way he swallows it, though. It's not real. It's not real. But anyways, that's my update on Butter Dog.
Dude, this is like, do you know those...
It's disgusting. Also,
you know those episodes...
How much money is he making from these videos that he has to spend on bull
do you know
testicles?
what this reminds me of? Do you know in like especially the newer episodes of SpongeBob, although I haven't watched SpongeBob in a while, like where they'll use the chum from the chum bucket for like gross out humor. That's what this looks like.
Yeah, he's basically doing real life chum.
Real life chum bucket consumer.
And
average
it's
chum bucket
disgusting.
fan versus average Krusty Krab.
I saw one, I forget what it was. I forget what he was making, but he was like, for some reason he was like squeezing one of the testicles, and it like bursted open, and it was like the squishy insides of the testicle were coming out.
No.
Like, it's literally just like gross humor at this point. Like, basically, he used to be a little more subtle about it, but in case you were wondering, yeah, it's 100% off the deep end now.
I'm starting to think...
But it's crazy just thinking about
what do you
how
think
much money
his target audience
makes.
is? Like,
he probably makes so much money, dude. He probably makes so much money.
I know, but what do you think... And this is so stupid. What do you think his target audience is, though? I want to know.
Probably like...
Because it's like gross out humor. I feel like it's starting to appeal to like...
middle schoolers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like young teenagers probably. Mostly men.
Oh, dude, look, he's crushing the bull testes. Look, they're frothing out with the inside.
It's like when Rhett and Link...
sprinkles on
when Rhett and Link would eat bull testicles or like pig anus.
At least
like
they did that somewhat sparingly.
Yeah, it's like that, but to a whole new level, basically.
Penis.
So that's my Butter Dog update.
How much did you talk about Skibbity Toilet in your Jason?
Did you never watch it?
No, I did. I just forgot a lot of the details.
I mean, I basically talked about 2 topics. I think it was
no,
mostly...
you had like 5.
Okay, well, the 2 main topics, like the ones I think I wrote down, were about the Google AI policy.
Oh wait, hold on, dude. This is crazy. I'm just gonna stand in a pose so I don't forget what I was about to say. Now you keep talking.
The Google.
I'm standing in like the pose that Captain Lou Albano hits at the end of the Mario.
The Google AI policy where they can harvest all your data to feed to their algorithms.
Yeah, that was a big topic.
And then Skibbity Toilet. So.
Okay, now we never talked about your UCast. Like we never actually brought it up in the podcast, and it's crazy because it's old news now.
Yeah. What is there to bring up about it?
It's just crazy because normally that's something we bring up. Like I would start the next episode like, "Hey, welcome back. Sorry I wasn't there. Sorry I had to put you through Jason." Actually, hold on. I'm trying to remember. Some aspect of that video, the UCast, just you. And this is not a new thing. I invented the me-cast. I started it with just me.
Well, you just had to throw that in. Oh,
yeah, because I wrote a song, and I was really hoping you'd write a song too, but you didn't.
Oh.
You let me down.
Yeah. I didn't have enough time.
Well, you didn't have enough time, yet yours was longer, but my background was also a little more detailed.
Well, yeah, I mean, the hard part is not recording it. Like, the time-consuming part is making all the art and stuff.
But it's also crazy because we never talked about the animations that I made. There was going to be like a huge trailer for like big things coming in the podcast, and it only ever turned out to be an animatic, and then I posted it, and now I actually unlisted it.
Really?
Yeah. Well, the major motivator was Kristen was like, "Hey, what's your podcast URL?" And I gave it to her. And I think she said she shared it with Kai. And I was like, oh, wait, that's potentially 2 new people's eyes on the podcast. It's like, I don't think I want them to see the animatic.
Bruh.
Especially without context. and knowing that I know them and they can bring it up to me in person.
You have to relist it sometime.
I probably will, maybe. Or maybe I'll finish it. I don't know. Now, I said I'd never finish it in the video. I made that as a promise. But, the podcast...
We relist it the same day that we actually play Terraria or something.
Yeah.
I sounded British when I said that. Terraria. But,
dude, the podcast legit gets me emotional. Like, you probably didn't catch it. I'm sure you didn't catch it. But when I first uploaded...
The podcast makes me emotional.
Dude,
we haven't talked about my arm yet.
No, we're going to get to that, Jason, because this is actually crazy. It goes deeper than you think.
My arm?
Yes. Your arm goes so deep into that sink drain to pull out the rotten flesh.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Uh-huh. Now I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, yeah. When, the episode before the last one, the one where the thumbnail is us stargazing at a constellation of a flash drive or a floppy disk, that one originally was posted with no title. Not for any, black out your Twitter profile and stop posting reason, but just because I couldn't think of one. But then the description still says, sorry, not sorry, we're late, something like that. But then it was originally tagged last episode, and at the bottom I said, there, that's it, that's the episode, I give up. I was so fed up because I barely finished that episode on time, and it almost made me late for a dentist appointment. I was juggling my job at the same time. I was so mad. I was going to call the hiatus right there. But then I realized we didn't talk about Pikmin 4 or Super Mario Wonder. I won one, and we never stopped talking about
We did talk about Pikmin 4.
No, we did. But I have so many notes now that I want it, dude. We didn't actually. We only briefly talked about it a little bit.
We kind of talked about it.
Post-winning?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
No, wait. Maybe,
I have a whole page of notes. I feel strongly about this game. It makes me feel things.
I don't remember, but, I mean, we talked about it a little bit at least. Do you want to do a separate episode to talk about Pikmin and Mario Wonder?
Bro, should we? And the Nintendo Direct that came out that we never...
Yeah.
Man, but it'd be so late now. Speaking of so late, when we were talking about...
I'm just saying, there's not enough... There's still not enough time in
speaking
this
of so
podcast
late,
for all of that.
Speaking of so late, back when we were talking about Butterdog and
Butterdog.
Skibbity Toilet, you never got to talk about your favorite Undertime Slopper.
I had it as a topic like a year ago.
You said it could be relevant now because
something
changed, like they stopped posting or something.
He did stop posting. He's posted a few, but as far as I know, he doesn't post as much as he used to. And I decided not to talk about it anymore because I kind of like stopped watching them. But for a while there, Undertime Slopper was goated. But I don't know what else to say about it.
Did it fall off?
Look, if you were there, you were there. If you weren't there, you'll never know. But
you'll never catch up.
I love Undertime Slopper.
I'm gonna put a little Undertime Slopper in the middle of the podcast.
Slopper.
Yo,
But yeah, it was basically this guy who was making like surrealist humor videos, but he was like, there was a whole world building aspect to it, like recurring characters and stuff.
Yeah.
It was called Albert's Forest. And I think he still makes videos sometimes, but the classic ones they're great.
It's interesting. It could almost be its own genre. Like I feel like I should see more people making stuff inspired off it. I was watching some analog horror the other day, and I feel like analog horror as a genre has overstayed its welcome. It just doesn't
100%.
do it for me. But do you know Kane Pixels?
Say that again?
Do you know Kane Pixels?
I don't think so.
That's his username, right? Is it Kane Pixels? Kane is his real name.
Yeah,
Pixels?
he last uploaded Undertime Slopper uploaded September 10th. And then the last time before that he uploaded
I'm going to do Jamie
was a screenshot of a text message with
what happened to Undertime Slopper?
A contact named Mom that says what happened to Undertime Slopper.
That's sad.
That was July 7th, and the last time he uploaded before that was June 30th, and that was like when he kind of stopped uploading. So yeah.
Okay, it is Kane Pixels.
Other than the one upload September something, he kind of stopped. But he got really popular for a while.
Okay, yeah, Kane Pixels. I got to talk about this guy because I watched a video by him recently that was just phenomenal.
You're completely not even like close to the microphone right now.
That's because I'm looking at my phone. Sorry.
I know, but
I don't want to watch the actual video. I wanted to click on his username.
Destroying the microphone and not even talking towards it.
But this guy, he made people keep... He was like, who's the Smosh guy again? Anthony, what's his face?
Padilla.
He did an interview with the guy, and people keep calling him the creator of the Backrooms. The creator of the Backrooms was some guy on 4chan, okay? But what they mean is he created a series about the Backrooms, where he uses extremely detailed Blender models of locations, mixed with realistic video artifacting to make these incredibly realistic animations that look like you're actually in a real place. And he has had a series with the Backrooms going recently, but it stopped because now he's actually making a Backrooms movie.
A movie?
Yes. And here's the thing. I said analog horror overstayed its welcome, and the Backrooms has definitely overstayed its welcome too. Have you seen the stupid videos where it's just like, this character in the Backrooms? It's like a clickbait farm thing. It's like Elsa Gate.
I played
for a slightly different audience.
I played a Roblox game called SHREK in the Backrooms, and dude, this goes deep. This game. It was I forget when it was, but you remember when I stayed over at Michael's house.
Is it like a Nextbot type thing?
Kind of. I stayed over at Michael's.
Those things actually do kind of creep me out.
I stayed over at my friend Michael's house one time a while back when he was like home alone house sitting or something. I don't remember when this was, but anyways, we were like bored and we were playing random Roblox games. One of our favorite pastimes. Highly recommend. And I came across this one called SHREK in the Backrooms. And at first it just looks like it's going to be like a very basic, stupid game where it's basically like they have this like small Backrooms map. And then they have, as they call them, entities that are walking around. And they have a couple different entities. Like one is the gingerbread man guy.
Entities, that's always such like a term they use, you know?
They've got the Mr. Gingerbread guy from SHREK.
Yeah.
They've got Donkey and SHREK. They've got like different 3D models of them, right? Well, when I was playing this was like the height of Skibidi Toilet, like when it was first starting. They had a Skibidi Donkey.
No!
Skibidi Toilet, when it was Donkey, and his head was like doing that. Like, it was crazy. But that game ended up going so deep, it was crazy. The first level is like the Backrooms.
What is it with Skibidi Toilet and having to have like deep lore every time?
And then you make it to the second level, and it's no longer the back. It's kind of like the Backrooms, but there's like different maps, and it becomes.
Well, the thing is, the Backrooms evolved to have like a bunch of different people's independent takes on the lore, and a lot of them include different locations.
No, but let me finish. Because
okay.
You don't fully understand what I'm saying.
Do you ever go to SHREK Swamp?
It turned into a full adventure map story. Where
dude, what?
Like at first it's like kind of backroom centric. Like there's one that's like the shower rooms, backrooms. There was one that was like a McDonald's play place backrooms. That it was like the tubes you crawl in at the McDonald's play place.
So this is just like going further into sort of like
then there was one that was just like a jungle.
Territory.
Then there was one that was the Krusty Krab.
Oh, of course.
And you had to make a Krabby Patty.
Oh my! Really?
And then after that, you were like on the island, the Bikini Bottom little. You know when SpongeBob
Bikini
starts,
Atoll.
and there's like the little the Bikini Atoll, and you have to like find boards and planks to like
dude, this
make
is just
a raft.
the thing now. Anytime you want to make something needlessly deep, just put Skibidi Toilet over it.
But dude, then it pivots into. It's like an airplane crash thing, where you're on the airplane. You have to like it's like the plane is crashing, and you have to get like this.
And now is SHREK still chasing you through all this?
No, that's what I'm saying. It starts as SHREK in the Backrooms, and then it's only the first level is SHREK in the Backrooms, and it becomes a whole adventure story.
What?
And then it's like you have to.
I love this.
You have to get a parachute and stuff. And then you have to like try to fix the plane, and then the plane is crashing. You jump, and then there's like this final boss who's completely SHREK related.
You know, Jason is interested in the topic at hand when he can't look at the microphone.
The plane crashes, and you have to fight this final boss, and then you win. Oh! I almost forgot. Do you know the game Iron Lung?
Yes.
They recreated Iron Lung.
In Roblox?
In Roblox, as one of the levels in that game.
The entirety of it?
No, but it's like
the entire area, I mean.
You're inside the Iron Lung.
I've only seen so much of the game.
You're inside, like, the Iron Lung machine thing.
Yeah.
And they recreated that whole, like, thing where you navigate inside the Iron Lung, and that's one of the levels where you have to go and you have to take pictures.
How many levels are there again? Like 100?
I think, like, 20 or something, but...
This is insane.
Look, we can play it literally.
Dude,
we can play it this weekend.
You know what's scary about this? I'm sure no one else has talked about it. Like, this is going to be lost. Like, people are just going to forget about it.
Well, it was a surprise.
Imagine how much work whoever made this put into it.
I know. That's what me and Michael were like, we can't believe this.
We can't believe this.
We joined this thinking it was going to be like the stupidest thing ever, just like just pre-programmed AI that somebody else had made, like Nextbot AI, like you said. It was just like, and they just throw in these SHREK models, and that's it. It went so deep. The game went so deep.
For no reason.
Michael was losing his mind when we got
I would have loved to hear that.
When we got to the Iron Lung level, he was like, there's no way they recreated Iron Lung as one of the levels of this Roblox game. It's crazy. We should actually play it. Maybe we should do a let's play of it.
Yes. Dude, I would love to play Roblox.
Actually, let's play that. Let's play that for the channel. We're going to make a let's play of that game. But was there even a point to what I was saying?
Dude,
that was the craziest.
I was watching our Scratch. What would you even call that kind of video? Exploration let's play thing from your channel?
Dude, I pride myself in the fact that you can't describe the genre of the videos I make.
I know, those are your best videos.
But they're also the least popular because people look for genres and mine don't.
Are they, or is it just because they were earlier on? Speaking of popularity, dude, I can't.
None of my videos are popular. What do you mean?
I can't believe that. No, don't. Your videos aren't popular, but your community posts are. Oh, Jason.
Dude, you're calling 3 likes popular.
We get like 1 like max on all of our podcast episodes.
That's because community posts.
Go ahead, say it.
First of all, YouTube pushes community posts a lot. Like if I open, especially on mobile, if I open the YouTube app right now, like 1 out of every 5 things on my homepage it's going to show me is a community post.
That's great.
Most of them are from channels I don't even subscribe to or follow or know.
Oh, same. But now, okay, you say that? Now, tell me why my 2 community posts got 0 likes, 0 views as far as I can tell, 0 comments, except the one that you only knew about because I told you I was posting it, that you commented so true or something on. And then yours gets a comment and 3 likes. Like, where did that come from? And none of mine got recommended to me on my personal YouTube, a user. But yours did.
I think that's like a marginal difference, though.
No, really. It's not.
I think you think that's crazy because, like, 0 times infinity is 0. But, like, if you think about it additively, 3 compared to 0 likes is not that much of a difference.
Bro, I would just pay for 1 like. Okay, I wouldn't actually. I don't care that much about it. But I know you guys watch the podcast. How come no one likes it? How come no one comments? Call us stupid in the comments. I don't care. I would like to see some audience interaction up in his eye.
I tell them to every time. But that's what I'm saying. Community posts is easier to just press like and go on about your day than like the podcast. Like, oh, I can't listen to it right now.
But like, who would like... It's just a picture of you saying we'll be back next week. Well, who likes that without any context?
It was a funny picture, though.
I clicked on the guy who commented, and I don't even know if they're subscribed. I don't know if I've seen them anywhere. Because I usually check when we get new subscribers.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the person who commented. So if you're listening to this and you're the person who commented...
Shout out to you.
Let us... Like, do we...
Who are you?
Yeah, do we know you, or are you just random? Like...
Where'd you come from?
Thanks for commenting. If you do watch, thanks for watching. But yeah, I feel like I know everybody who watches the podcast, and I do not know you. So... Well, anyways, the picture was funny, and you want to know one of the biggest things? I increased the saturation on it a lot, so it's bright and colorful and eye-catching. Yours was...
No! I touched the saturation on mine, too. It's just my room is beige and my outfit is mostly
No, that's
gray.
what I'm saying. Yours was kind of monotone and grainy.
But I even added a light gradient, so it looks like it's glowing from the center.
You can't... You just have to, at some point, be like, no, you're right.
Yours just has a cool fisheye camera lens and sunshine in the back room, but that's not my aesthetic.
Dude, have you seen Mr. Beast? He showed how the YouTube has this feature... for creators where you can like test 2 thumbnails and it'll show some users one thumbnail and some the other, and you can compare how each thumbnail performs.
Dude, what?
And he showed how every single one of his thumbnails, he would make a version with his mouth open in the thumbnail and his mouth closed in the thumbnail. And in every
I don't have a mouth.
And in every single one, the thumbnail with his mouth closed performed significantly better than the one with his mouth open.
Really?
I'm telling you, the smallest...
Then why so many people got their mouths open?
Well, he's thinking that maybe the meta has changed. People are... That now the mouth
now they're tired of
thing
it.
is like, an immediate sign
Soy boy, close
clickbait.
your mouth.
But my point being is that like the smallest things can greatly impact how people like in a split second perceive something when they're scrolling on social media.
The Kane Pixels video is still playing in the background.
You can say all you want about your picture, but the slightest things, no matter how much you try to edit it, the bottom line is that mine was more expressive, more saturated, more eye-catching.
But I didn't have the resources.
But that's a different. Okay, not having the resources, fine. I agree with you, but that you have to admit that there's a reason why mine was probably more eye-catching. I'm just saying you got to concede on that at some point. That's just the way it works.
Hold on, I actually want that video paused playing in the background because it allows all the thumbnails to not be moving videos. You ever get annoyed by the now there's an ad? YouTube bugs me, dude, I'm telling you. Okay, and then pause it, and then hold on, move. Oh jeez, it's the scary part. I almost don't want to look at it.
Oh jeez, Rick. It's the scary part.
Okay,
can I talk about Suigi carpetless?
I never got to finish
talking about you never talked about my arm either, and you said it goes deep.
It does go deep! Just give me a moment, okay? It'll go real deep. Just give me a moment to talk about Kane Pixels. He made me uneasy last night. Sleeping. No, it was a few nights ago. But
dude, I was uneasy sleeping. Did I wake you up last night?
No. I got up because I couldn't sleep. Then I fell asleep on that couch behind you, and then I went back to bed because it was uncomfortable.
I woke up every time I would fall asleep last night. I would wake up shortly thereafter and feel like I wasn't breathing, and then go into
I had a creepy dream last night. Well, it wasn't creepy. It was more just like sad and unsettling.
My dream, not last night, but the night before, was that I was on campus in some building. It was like the student union type of building or something like that. And everywhere installed in the walls were drink dispensers that were just dispensing matcha lattes.
Wow.
And I was just going around everywhere like...
Getting matcha lattes!
Yes! I woke up having to pee so bad.
I'm going to have to quiet that up.
I also woke up really wanting matcha. Dude, the dream was awesome. I was like, dude, I love matcha.
You would die of caffeine overdose if that dream were real.
Honestly, yeah.
You would be so.
Dude, I was stoked in that dream. I was like, I love
I'm sure
matcha.
You were.
Why is there free matcha coming out of the walls?
No questions asked. You didn't ask anybody, hey, is this new? Is this a thing?
But the weirdest part of the dream was that it was matcha, but for some reason in my dream, everybody was calling it yerba mate, which is like that, like South American tea type thing.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
That's such a weird word, too. Yeah. That's in your dream?
Well, it's because somebody was talking about yerba mate that during that day. They were talking about...
Your brain is so funny.
But yeah, anyways. But then what's funny is I woke up after that dream, and it was like 5 a.m., and I had to go pee, like I said.
Yeah.
And I was looking on my phone for a little bit, because I felt a little weird after I woke up. Like, I felt like... I don't know how to explain it. I felt almost like dizzy. So anyways, I was like looking at my phone a little bit to like wind down before I was going back to sleep.
You do that. I catch you doing that sometimes.
Yeah, and I was on Instagram, and I came across... There's this meme that I'm sure you've never seen, and I wish I could look it up, but I don't even know what to look up. But it's this meme where they'll have like a bunch of yerba mate in various like containers, and they'll have like a straw sticking into it, and then there's this guy speaking something really funny in Spanish. I don't know exactly what he's saying.
Wait, have I seen this? Something about this sounds familiar.
But I had that dream where everybody was calling it yerba mate, and it wasn't. But then I open Instagram, and I get this meme where it is an entire pond, like an entire lake, filled with yerba mate.
Wait, no, like outside?
Yeah.
Wait, but it can't... Like, it's not really.
It must have been edited. But it was filled with yerba mate, and it was that meme, and it was like, oh, que lindo, or whatever he says.
Yerba mate.
I want to find the meme.
Dude, I bet it's not real. I bet it was, you know when you're like still dreaming after you wake up?
Oh, yes, I found it. Que lindo mate. That's the meme. That's the audio. He's like, que lindo mate. It's like, how beautiful. But then they'll just have it, like I saw one where it was like a giant trash can filled with yerba mate, and it was that. Anyways, but the one I woke up and saw was like an entire lake filled with yerba mate.
I hadn't even heard of yerba mate before you brought it up.
Mate.
This is funny.
Anyways,
Kane Pixels.
Yeah. It goes deep. get to the deepness.
No, it's
It's so late game to talk about my arm. We can't make the thumbnail a callback to the other one now.
Oh!
What?
You're getting ahead of me.
Okay.
Dude, are we just gonna have to save Kane Pixels till the end now?
No, just hurry up.
Because I might have to bring him up now.
Okay, I'll let you talk.
No, because it's coming. It's unearthing itself.
I'm gonna let you finish. Go.
Dude, I think this is the most times we've laughed at ourselves in a podcast. Okay. Okay, Kane Pixels. I'm really impressed by this guy. First of all, he's 17, but he's making these...
No, I'm just... Yeah.
You were looking at me so much. No, but, like, first of all, Backrooms. I know it's overdone, but I actually do recommend watching his original Backrooms video.
Okay, I hate creepy videos, though.
This one's not too creepy. It's more intriguing.
Okay.
If you actually are scared of creepy videos, though, do not watch the recent video he made, The Oldest View Part 3.
Okay.
But it's so good. It's so good. There are a few things I don't like about it, but I won't bring them up because they kind of spoil it.
The Backrooms, like SCP type stuff, is not that creepy to me. It's more like psychological horror, like the Mandela Catalog kind of stuff. Like that's the stuff that creeps me out.
If you wanna, the Mandela Catalog actually didn't creep me out that much. I feel like there's too much.
That's the one with the alternates, right?
Yeah, I feel like there's too much just wanting you to imagine your own stuff and be creeped out by it in that. Like I want it to actually give me.
Well, that's what creeps me out. Is like the psychological horror stuff where it like.
Oh, well, then maybe this won't creep you out. It's very much claustrophobia and environment horror.
Probably not that much.
But I recommend, it's not too scary. If you just want to get a slice of him, the Backrooms, found footage, and that'll also give you a good taste of what might be coming in the movie he's making about it. Well, actually, the movie will probably have more of his later Backroom videos where he sort of establishes his own lore about it. But yeah, it's interesting. But, dude... First of all, if you are going to watch The Oldest View, yes, it will probably spook you. It made me a bit uneasy going to sleep at night.
I've heard that name before.
The Oldest View?
Yeah, I might know that.
Yeah, there are a lot of people like Wendigo or whatever his name is. Wendigo, yes, that's how you pronounce it. I think he's already at least live streamed watching it. I don't know if he's done an analysis on it, but he loves those kind of things.
Yeah, I've definitely heard of it.
But yeah, people are talking about how great it is. But it's really, it looks so real. Like, the Backrooms are easy to make. Like, flat walls, it's just a repeating pattern. You can make that look real. This location he's modeled, or however he's faked it, it's insane. And it's so creepy, the atmosphere. And if you're going to watch it, skip parts 1 and 2. They are, in my opinion, sort of needless background buildup that is too much. And is covered in the third one anyways, in brief. Watch the third one. If you can, somehow find a way to watch it without viewing the thumbnail, because it kind of spoils the location and the atmosphere.
Okay.
And then full screen it for maximum experience, and also so you don't get spoilers from a bunch of people showing screenshots, analyzing it on the recommended side, because it will surely happen. Like I said, people are definitely analyzing. But it is so creepy, and it's so well done. And it's got to be some mix of, real footage, and it can't all be in Blender. But that's how he always describes it. It looks so real. And he's 17. I don't know how he does this. But it's...
Undertime Slopper does real footage rotoscoped, and then he adds 3D models into it.
Well, some of it is very blatantly real life in a forest. But after that, after you get into the actual setting...
It could be, rotoscoped.
I wasn't talking about Undertime Slopper, by the way, there. I was talking about his video.
Yeah, I'm saying his could be.
Yeah.
I don't know if rotoscoped is the right word.
But yeah. I didn't know you were a scaredy cat, bro. I thought you were brave. Maybe you shouldn't watch it.
I don't like creepy videos.
I'm
not a big fan of horror stuff.
I'm not a huge fan, but dude, Kane Pixels is so talented. I wish I was him. What happened to when we were talking and we said we should make our own analog horror?
You know what
and we use the term loosely, more just like an ARG or something.
I watched some of the Walton Files, and that was the stupidest thing I've ever watched. I'm sorry, I did not.
Well, it's basically just a Five Nights at Freddy's fan fiction.
It was just like Five Nights at Freddy's, but bad.
It has some moments. I
didn't really like it, but is that the one?
I've actually watched the entire Walton Files.
Yeah, that's the one with Yeah, I don't think I watched all of them, but I kind of got bored. But anyways, the Mandela Catalog is
I kind of like the backstory of the Walton Files better than the original.
The creepiest...
Well, Five Nights at Freddy's has 10 different lores that you can interpret 10 different ways. It's so unorganized.
The creepiest piece of media that I know of ever, period, is what is it called? The Dementia album. The
Why can't I? We can't remember it.
Yeah,
we can't remember it. No.
What is it called? Oh my goodness. Something at the end of time, right? The Caretaker. Yeah, The Caretaker. Everywhere at the end of time. Yes.
Yeah, there it is. I was gonna say Everywhere, but
that is probably the creepiest thing that exists to me ever, and it's.
But it's just an album.
Well,
I know. I'm just thinking. I would think. It's like I would expect more of a multimedia experience. To be the
creepy to me because
in its simplicity.
Yes, that, and because it's not some made-up horror, creatures, creepy monster stuff. Because that's okay, that's not real. It's creepy because it is a chilling recreation of something that really happens to people. That is one of the most disturbing things I think I can possibly think of, which is losing your memory. That kind of stuff is what's creepy to me. So
and yet the Mandela effect scares you. Are you scared you're going to run into your alternate double? Are you scared you're going to walk down the street one day and there's going to be you, but he's like...
It's more like the fact of it's
the metaphorical idea behind it.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Yeah, it's like a metaphorical thing, and it's a similar psychological thing.
Well,
it's not that I actually think alternates are real or whatever. It's more of a psychological, metaphorical aspect.
Maybe
represents.
The Oldest View would resonate with you. It's from the perspective of a vlogger.
Resonate as in I would find it creepy.
Well, I'm sure you would find it creepy. It's definitely not the creepiest thing I've ever seen, but it's very good at what it does. Like I said, I had some complaints about it, but they would spoil it, so I'm not going to go into it. This is just a recommendation. If you're susceptible to horror, don't go out and watch it. All three of you who are listening right now, I don't want to be responsible for your wet beds. Wet beds. I will say though, I've been calling it The Oldest View 3. That's like a subtitle. The title also kind of gives away a bit of what's to come, and I feel like it's almost better without knowing it, but. You probably won't be able to find it otherwise, so it's The Rolling Giant, The Oldest View Part 3. That's the full title. Maybe you can watch it in the middle of the day and then get back to me, and we can laugh about the bad parts, and that'll make it seem not so scary.
Eyes, bro. Hair, bro. Race.
I know,
unspecified.
Wait, what does it really say that?
Yeah, no, the race just doesn't have anything next to it.
Bro, my race is unspecified. Jason's looking at my temporary learner's permit.
No, temporary driving certificate. Makes it sound better.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
Makes it less embarrassing.
But yeah, I love that my eyes are bro and my hair is...
You're talking right next to the microphone because your head is right there. So.
But the thing is, my eyes are not bro. They're has.
I don't think they have that as an option.
Yeah, they don't.
They probably have blue, brown, and maybe green.
No, I just dropped my eye color. No! Everybody knows my hair color. It goes out from behind my mask, but I just name-dropped my eye color.
I think they could probably guess based on my eye color.
Oh, that's true.
Genetics.
I actually make your eyes look more hazel than they are when I draw.
Very much so, yeah.
Yeah, I should make them more brown. I'm compensating for the fact that you can't see my eyes. Your eyes carry both. It's like a mix of them.
The problem with drawing irises is it's almost impossible because your color is not that inaccurate if you took an average of my eyes, but it's not. Eyes are a solid
crazy.
Color. They're such a
our
complex
mom's
pattern.
eyes. Our dad says they look like mud. But they're not even brown. If anything, they're gray. But they're gray because they're like every color.
Green,
they're like opal supernovas. And it's like our dad, who should be like, honey, you've got the most beautiful, stellar, explosive eyes.
Yeah, when is
it's
he
just like they look like
anything?
mud. And it's like they literally look insane. Like her eyes are like a kaleidoscope. It's crazy.
I think the nicest gesture he's ever done in his life was after I did well on a test in school. He bought me a Sonic amiibo.
Wait, that was it?
Yeah,
I didn't know that was
That's how we got the Sonic amiibo. And it's really funny
because actually,
that's probably the last amiibo I would want, knowing how bad Sonic is in Smash Bros.
I picked something,
but I was like, I mean, I can't. I appreciate it's the thought that counts.
No, we have to get into this. Okay, here's the thing. I was going to talk about something related to our dad on the podcast already.
Never talked about my arm. Never talked about my arm.
I'm inches away from Jason's face right now. We will get to it.
Okay, but it's too late for the thumbnail reference now.
No, it's not too late! Ah! I scared him. I kicked my chin.
I don't know why I thought when you were going to kick that, it was going to launch at me. Okay,
dude, I'm so sweaty right now.
Go ahead.
I forgot we were talking about Dad. Oh, yes. Our dad. I was already going to bring up something related to him. Our dad does not like being talked about in ways that strangers can hear about him or being seen. And I'm the exact same way. You can't see my face right now. I'm not doing a face reveal. We would be recording this in person with visuals if it weren't for me. So I totally relate. And I, just as a person, don't like talking about people behind their back. So I'm going to try not to paint a negative picture of our dad. Dad, if you're listening, either from the other room, because he's literally in this house, or in some weird alternate universe where he decides to watch 1 hour into our podcast. I'm not going to try and make fun of you here, Dad. But he does this. He does this. You mentioned the Sonic amiibo. No, dude, he bought us a trampoline. He bought us an aquarium.
True.
But here's the thing. All of these were like unprompted or years after we asked for them. I wanted a pet fish when I was like 5. Then when he was 10, he was like, by the way, I got us an aquarium. And I was like, I don't want it anymore. I never asked. Who? The only person who has ever gotten stuff when it was relatively relevant to them is our sister, Kristen. She wanted to go to Disneyland. A few years later, we went to Disneyland.
World, by the way.
Oh, yeah, it's a running gag. I always say it wrong. It makes her so mad.
I think the trampoline thing was like...
I never asked for... Actually, I might have.
Oh, my goodness. That pierced my eardrums like a needle.
I'm so... Can you want me to kiss your eardrums?
The way you say...
Ow! That hurt even more.
The laugh I did?
The kiss!
That was loud?
Yes, because you went... Imagine that, but like point blank in my ear.
Point blank kiss.
It's like a high pitch.
You can't make it sound deadly.
The way you sound the way you say I's and A's, you're like ah. It's like sharp. It's like
this is
piercing.
hilarious.
I've actually had to train myself not to pronounce I's and A's that way because I used to talk in the same way.
Oh, yeah.
And
is that how you developed your monotone voice?
After years of doing YouTube, I had to sort of train my voice to sound more pleasant, so I actually avoid making those harsh sounds now.
I couldn't do it,
But
though.
you still do
It's
them.
too unreal. It's not me, you know? It's not me. Like,
Well-
are you? Mandela effect. You're not you.
It's funny because they couldn't see what I did.
Yeah, he just did the goofiest, like, turned into a centipede monster. He actually turned into a monster. Like, there were, like, claws. His chest ripped open and arms came out.
But John is not really fazed by it because he's also an alternate. We're alternate, bro.
Yeah. I'm an eldritch abomination from another dimension. I only spend my downtime here just hanging out. Usually I'm off somewhere in the nether realm.
I recall the trampoline being like a rumor that like our parents left to go to the store and there was like
it was like a Kim Jong Un on the podcast type thing.
It was like a rumor. I don't know who they told. Like it must have been like one of our older sister that they said before they were leaving that like just we might go buy a trampoline when we're out.
Yeah.
And then they were like, dude, I think they're buying a trampoline. And I remember we like drew a little card with like a picture of us jumping on a trampoline, you remember? And we were like, thanks for the trampoline, Mom and Dad. And then they came back with a trampoline and I still don't know how that happened.
And yet we offered to pay for an accordion for our dad who always wanted one and he wouldn't buy it. We have a video of him playing an accordion and he's like smiling and he's so happy. We found it at a shop. And he was like, nah, I can't buy this for myself.
He said it didn't fit him right.
And we were like, we can get a new strap. We can get a new strap.
You could. But...
It's crazy. Our dad, he's a good man. He just doesn't know how to do things. But and then the crazy thing is that I love that trampoline. I actually used it a lot. But then we broke the safety ring around it, and I'm terrified of like falling and snapping my neck. I was already afraid of that doing it on a trampoline normally. But especially without the like safety net around it, I was scared. So I sort of stopped using it except on rare occasion. And then years later, we have a yard sale, and our dad refused to do anything other than give it away for free. He would not pay. He would not give us cent. That and a random globe.
And an ancient antique globe.
He refused to sell it for
more
a
than
cent.
1 cent.
Anytime we talked about it, he's like, I got to get rid of this thing. It's like, it's cursed. Like, we just know it's cursed.
Yeah.
Like, it held some...
The Pharaoh's curse.
Yeah, exactly.
The cartographer's curse.
Like, I had these really tiny, like, Lego models, and we were, like, selling them for $5. But this globe, free. Just take it away from me. He's like, I don't know what his deal was.
Yeah, no, for real. He had, like, the little, like a single Lego minifigure on a motorbike. $5. Globe,
But no,
1 cent.
That's actually, when I was talking about, like, it's always late or unprompted, I remember back in the day, everyone was like, oh, I play video games, I play Xbox. People made fun of me because I didn't know what an Xbox was or a PlayStation. Because I never played video games. I was like, Mom, I want a Nintendo. Because I saw, like, commercials for New Super Mario Bros. At the time, and I was like, that looks so cool. And we played Nintendo, go hunt us down. We play emulated games. Oh yeah, that was actually a thing. We were talking about secondhand nostalgia and how people these days would be like, oh, I remember playing Super Mario Bros. On Nintendo Switch Online. And it's like, that seems like such a weird way to remember it. But we didn't play it on the NES either. We played it emulated online.
Yeah.
So we kind of had secondhand nostalgia too. But I always wanted a real Mario that I owned and that was not, like something people have been playing for eons now. And they were just like, no, you don't need video games. You have toys. Which, by the way, for the longest time I didn't even have toys. I had like an old sack of toys that were like 20 years old, and they were just like...
Old sack of toys. You had a Jacob's Ladder?
Yeah, that was like what we had. We were like Amish.
And
like,
why... And look at you now, long hair, long...
Yeah, now I look Amish, but I play video games.
Long hair,
actually, me and video games have...
You're autistic, you're smart, you like Jacob's Ladder.
Okay, wait, what's the correlation now? This has nothing to do with being Amish.
Dude, if you give your... Okay. I want to experiment on my children.
This podcast is going to be so... What? Hold on! Wait, hold on! Hold on, bro.
No. Not the incinerator. No.
They have no idea what's going on. I just pushed him down the stairs.
Listening to that probably...
My cheeks hurt from laughing.
Listening to that probably sounded like a Whose Line Is It Anyways?
This podcast is gonna be so much, and it's Sunday. This podcast is gonna be... it's Saturday. It's Saturday.
Just full send it. Just upload it. Honestly,
but
just
it's so
upload
loud.
We just put a disclaimer at the beginning.
And it's gonna be so hard to the timestamps. We're so all over the place.
Just don't stress it. I think you need to stop stressing it. That's what you need to do.
True.
Listen,
honestly.
I want to experiment on my children. I genuinely, I think if you, the way I was raised,
I've had the same thought, honestly.
The way I was raised, or I guess like the environment I was raised in.
Yeah.
Being around all of you freaks. Why do you like fart and joke? Why? What kind of like laugh was that? That was like I know it was like one of those.
It was like a.
But you literally went like.
Because I never. That's
okay.
Old school Jason. Back when people accused you of bullying me. You freaks.
Being around you.
Oh my goodness.
Being around my siblings, you guys would like. I was in like kindergarten, and Kristen was just teaching me how to do multiplication. That's the kind of
She
stuff
was
I'm
also
talking about.
teaching you, again, I don't like talking about people behind their backs, but I'm sure she's laughing at this in post. She also taught you... Wait, what did she call it? There's no way she called it retard language. It was something stupid.
Yes, that's what she called it.
No way! Okay, no, she would be bothered by that. Our sister is very politically correct. She would never... And she had no ill will when she said this at the time. It was just what we had heard other people say. But she made up a really stupid secret language that she was trying to teach Jason so that none of us could understand
it. Was a different day and time. People are super casual about using that word on the internet nowadays.
Yeah, it's kind of had a resurgence.
Yeah, like.
But it's like a lot of people have still not let go of it as a slur, so it's kind of conflicting.
Yeah, it's
Why
weird.
did I pronounce it like that?
Weird how, it's like the most acceptable thing that's considered a slur.
Yeah.
It's like people don't even. I don't know.
Well, actually, people can... Well, yeah, but that's like a curse word. I was going to say, people still throw around the B word sometimes, like son of a... But it's technically a slur. People say it's like... Some people treat it like a slur against women.
That is, I think, the next R word, as far as like people are now starting to treat it more as like a slur against women, which I think it's true. I think it is kind of like a derogatory term.
But then, is calling someone a dick derogatory
towards what?
Towards men, because they say... Because I've been thinking about it, like... People like if you say someone's being a pussy, it's like saying they're acting overly feminine or not feminine, but like a scaredy cat, stuff that's typically not considered masculine. You say they're acting like a dick. That's like I can't believe I'm saying this. That's like a jerk, like stuff you would typically attribute to a man.
I never really thought of it.
But
like
then, what do those terms mean?
I never really thought about it like that. But it is such a that's weird that those words exist.
I mean I think that's what it originated from.
Well, I'm not a big fan of any of those words that we just listed.
This is the most vulgar I've ever been on the podcast. This is the most vulgar I've ever been ever.
I don't know if I would consider either of those to be slurs.
Oh, yeah, they're not slurs, but I do wonder sometimes if
just think they're
like where they're based on.
I just think they're stupid insults.
Yeah.
Either way. But definitely I do think the B word should be considered a slur. And And I also think the R word should be considered a slur, and I don't know why people say it so much still.
I mean, it's...
Like Mudahar. Some ordinary gamers.
Oh, yeah.
It's like he can't say a sentence without saying the R.
I feel like I even hear a few people drop, well, it's not a slur, but, you're not supposed to say gay.
I want to experiment on my children.
Yeah, I was about to say, we got way off topic.
I still say gay sometimes, but I only say it
around, as a joke.
I only say it around people that I know are not like
homophobic.
Actually get like.
I only say it if I'm if I were like doing a bit where I'm like pretending to be one of those like teenagers from back in the day. Yeah. Like if it were like a part of a character.
Context really matters for like the people you say something around, like whether or not they're actually going to take it as a joke or not. I think it matters a lot.
But anyways, the experiment.
So I would never say something like that on the internet because anybody could hear it. But I want to experiment on my children.
Yeah.
And I'll say that on the internet where anybody can hear it. Like you made like spelling quizzes for me. I think we've even talked about this on the podcast before.
Oh, you want to go back? The globe. The same globe. I was trying to show you where we were on the globe, and I pointed, at North Carolina. I was like, this is where we are. And you pointed like one state over, and I was like, so is that our backyard? And I was like, no, Jason. Do you know how big the globe is? But you didn't, because you were like really young.
Exactly, but then you taught me. Basically, my point is...
Go on, can I tell my other favorite story from when you were a stupid kid?
Yeah, go ahead.
And I was teaching you how to count to 100. And I was like...
Yeah, I know this one too.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I was like, 20. And then 19, 20, 29, 30. And then we got up to 99. And I was like, what comes after 99? You're like, Tandy.
But how would I have known that it changes?
Well, no, the funny part was that I was like, oh, no, dude, that's like 10 where it's a different name. You go and then it's 100. And then, no, it's not. And it's like... I'm the one teaching you. It's 100. Have you not heard the word 100 before? And he was like, I'm going to go ask Mom. And then you went and you... That's a garage. And then you went and you asked Mom, and you came back all said like, it's 100.
Do you remember that one day? I think I was just trolling you guys when I was a kid.
Have you been a troll that long?
No, I think so.
I just spat on you. I'm sorry.
I think so, because I don't know if you remember, there was this one day I came home from school, like elementary school, and I was like, I just made the conscious choice to troll you guys. And I was like, I just decided to start an argument.
Before the word troll was
decided to start an argument about how the word drive is spelled.
Oh, yeah, and how it sounds like drive.
Yeah,
like
D-R-I-V-E. And I said it's spelled with a J. It's J-R-I-V-E.
J-R-I-V-E.
And you guys were like, no, it's D. And I was like, no, it's J. And I Dude. I trolled you for like hours. And I was like, no, okay, it's fine. It's a D.
Dude.
But I distinctly remember I was actually...
that's not Jason, though. You would not have given up. You would have kept it until the end of time.
Eventually, it's not funny anymore.
You would have found a satisfying punchline to end it on instead of just giving it.
Yeah, nowadays I would.
Because
now I'm
professional troller.
Yeah.
We no longer do a little trolling. He does a lot of trolling.
You got to start somewhere.
Experimenting on your children.
Yeah.
Dude, we have derailed so many times. This is what I'm talking about. How am I going to edit this? How am I going to add the timestamps?
What I'm saying is basically you guys were teaching me things, which I don't.
Oh yeah.
I guess is normal to some extent, but I think we all have some kind of educator blood in our system.
Yeah.
We all just love teaching people things. So as a kid, you guys were just teaching me everything. You would just be teaching me stuff that you learned in school.
That's how you became a genius.
No,
it's only because of us.
I feel like
you should pay us royalties.
I feel like I've had this conversation with you before, so I'm not sure why you're so surprised.
I don't know if I've had this conversation all the way through.
This is what I've said this many times.
Keep in mind, I have a terrible memory.
I've said this to all my friends and everybody who's like, dude, you're such a genius. I seriously do pay respects.
You're welcome, bro.
To you guys, I'm always like, I genuinely think it's because of how I grew up. You guys would just teach me stuff way before I would even learn it in school. And I genuinely just grew up, A, learning so much stuff ahead of the curve, and B, learning to love learning things. Yeah. So I just grew up in an environment where I always wanted to learn stuff.
And that's what you're gonna do to your kids? Because that's exactly what I'm gonna do to my kids. Dude, I'm gonna throw quantum physics at the age of 5.
But that's what I'm saying. I actually think that's the way.
And I'm gonna make them enjoy it. I'm gonna make them enjoy chores too. Our parents failed us there.
I partially think that's the way we are why we are, because I'm not saying that there's something wrong with video games, but I do think it's important for kids to play with stuff like Jacob's Ladders and think about how physics works and stuff like that.
Jacob's Ladder blew my mind.
Even at a very basic level, you start to think about how there's these ropes and they have tension and then these things are all connected and there's anchor points and
and it loops around,
rotations around pivots and stuff like that. It just makes you think. And toys like that are infinitely better than something that's almost like a fake window of reality, like watching Skibbity toilet videos.
Yeah.
It's like your kid is probably not learning anything from that. And like also I'm lucky that when I was playing video games, then it became a thing of like, how do video games work?
Yes, and then that's when we got into programming.
Yeah, so there's definitely like a context which you show your kids certain things, but I definitely always want to like, I want to show them things.
We're
that
not
can make
consumers,
them
we're users. We see, even when, if you're anything like me, when you see art, you think, how can I write something that good? How can I make something that good? That's probably why...
So it's more like the experiment, I guess, is not about like forcing my kids not to have technology or whatever. Like, I'm not one of those people. I think that's crazy,
feel, I don't want to be an iPad parent. So in a way...
Well, obviously, no. I'm never just going to be like,
well, that's what I'm going to say.
with your iPad.
That's what I'm going to say. The way
we're... take a nap and drink a beer.
Yeah, the way we're raised especially... But especially for the time now, and especially for the time then, your kids probably will be considered like technology, not illiterate, because I'm sure
by a previous generation.
But yeah, because I mean, growing up, I think I got technology around the time I should have. Sometimes too early, if anything. But I was talking to kids, like I said, they made fun of me for not knowing video games. They made fun of me for like, you don't have a cell phone yet, and it's like, no, I don't think I should.
I think the fact that I got technology so early, again, like when we got a desktop computer. Yeah. I mean, I was literally learning how to program instantly.
Exactly.
And
instantly.
I think that's why I'm so smart with that, with like computers and stuff. But at the same time, I do think it is unfortunate that our parents were not that the internet was kind of new and our parents did not know anything about it or how bad it can be. So I definitely like saw things that I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
You know? Definitely that is a downside, and that is like one of the main things I want to also avoid with my own children.
You gotta supervise your kids.
Yeah, anybody who is like...
That's the worst part about
anybody
an
who's
iPad.
Not like literally watching your kid while they're using some kind of internet-connected device, that is like child abuse in my opinion.
Yeah, they're going to be watching like Elsa Gate like fetish videos.
Yeah,
that's literally what the first thing YouTube throws at them. Because they make money out because it gets them hooked.
So I genuinely think
they actually want it to happen.
That is like child neglect if you do that. Like 100%.
Like you just have to acknowledge this is the day and age we live in. You can't just throw them on the internet. Everything is there.
You wouldn't give your kid like 50 Shades of Grey to read. Not that they'd be able to read it anyways, but you're essentially doing that with the internet because they can access anything.
Because that's what they're going to throw at them because it leads them down a cycle that they profit off of.
Yep. But dude, my arm.
Your arm. Well, I didn't finish telling my story about Dad. You see this phone?
Yeah.
Look
at this phone.
Look at this phone. It's my phone, right?
Uh-huh.
Wrong. Is this wrong?
I don't know what's happening.
Oh no! Did I lose it? Dang, son.
Oh, apparently he
he
lost his phone.
No, the bit!
The bit!
No, the bit!
The bit!
Where's my old cracked phone? Oh, yeah. No. Yeah. This is my phone.
Okay. No.
Doesn't it look pretty? It looks like when you throw rock Pikmin at a crystal wall.
What do you mean? What happened?
You
broke your phone again?
I was playing Pikmin Bloom. On the way home from my dentist appointment.
So that's why the other day he was like, "Don't hit your phone against your..." When you were like hitting it.
Yeah, dude, I was so scared. I wanted to bring this up on time. There's so much to talk about.
How many phones have you broken, dude?
Shh. I'm telling the story. Sit down.
Well, can I say something really quick?
Okay.
I've been telling you how you should just get a new phone.
No, that's part of the story. Because this is why it relates to Dad.
And
don't jump to
also get a screen protector.
I have screen protectors over there. I haven't put them on.
Okay.
But this is how it relates to Dad. Okay. Oh my goodness. This is actually what I was talking about. Do you remember when we wanted to record the podcast at the normal time last week, and I said I don't think I'm in the right mental state?
Sure.
Because I was still recovering from the fact that, like I said, I wanted to end the podcast on the last episode. I took away the hashtag last episode and everything. But I almost wanted to because of all that. But that same dentist appointment I was almost late to because I was working on the podcast. When I was getting back from it, I was playing Pikmin Boom. And my mom handed me like my pack of like toothbrush and floss that the dentist gave me. And I was trying to put my phone in my pocket, but my pockets were like loose and I needed like another hand to like pull it open to put it in. And I just missed. And I slammed down, touchdown that phone into the concrete face down. And it works perfectly fine. It's and there was like shrapnel coming off it.
Uh-huh.
And I actually got a splinter. But Dad took it really...
Can I harvest some of the parts out of this?
Honestly, yeah, sure.
Okay.
But Dad, as is actually kind of characteristic, took it, and the surprising part of this is going to sound weird for saying it's characteristic, but he took it surprisingly well. He was just like, oh, that's a real shame. And he's like, I guess you'll have to get a new one. And I was like, no, I can't make you guys do that. I won't make you pay for a new phone. It works perfectly fine. He was like, you don't know, that's the screen, that's the interface. At some point, enough bits could fall out, and then it just stops working, which is not untrue.
Yeah.
I didn't buy into the fact that
if
what
it's
happens
cracked enough, this touch sensitivity can start to mess up.
But, you know, he was, like, fear-mongering it. Like, he was really scared that this was going to happen. But I really didn't want to, because I felt really bad about this. I didn't want to, on top of that, you know, have to buy a new one. But then, here's the thing. We brought it up later, as he was carpooling me to work. He said, he was talking about this, and I was like, well, yeah, Jason, he recommended me a cool new phone for a pretty good price. And I was like, I'm not sold on it just yet, but I think that could be a good idea, something like that. And I said that to him.
This was the perfect opportunity to get it, dude.
This is the exact same phone model.
I know. Why, Jonathan?
And it's even older now than it already was then.
I know,
and it's a
why,
terrible. And it
Jonathan?
still has no gyroscope.
I know. So why?
I'll tell
this
you
was
why.
your perfect opportunity.
Mom interrupts me in the middle of at the end of a meeting one day for my work while I'm working at home and says, Dad just bought you a new phone.
Dude, he hates iPhones so much. He couldn't let it
No,
happen.
it's not that. I hate iPhones more than he does. I hate Apple. Here's the thing. He got hypnotized. Do you remember that time?
What?
At NC State where some guy was like trying to
He got convinced to buy a phone?
He was trying. The guy at NC State, he was like, they actually got rid of what do you call the people who are like trying to get you to buy stuff on the side of the solicitors.
Evil people, yeah, solicitors.
They got rid of them, and I think I was the turning point in that because this guy, he was trying to get.
He's telling a different story right now, by the way.
Yeah, back when I was in college at NC State, there was this guy who was trying to solicit me to get a subscription to Wall Street Journal, but he worded it in such a way that I had no clue what he was talking about. I thought he wanted me to sign a petition or something. He was like, "Do you want access to? Do you want to change the world? Do you want to see new things?" It's like a news site.
And so he basically
at the
fell
end,
for the Fortnite, give me your credit card number meme.
Well, yeah, because people have told me to give me my student ID before, and I was just like, I had no idea what this guy wanted. I just wanted to get to class, and I needed to end this interaction. It was like spamming A through a conversation, in a video game.
Yeah, and you missed the part where you pressed A to give him your credit card number.
Yeah, and that was the most stressed day of my life because I came home crying, not inside, not outside, trying to figure out how to cancel the subscription, and I had to call up my dad and say, some guy scammed me. I don't know how to drop the subscription, but there was a subscription attached to my credit card now. And I don't know who to call to get it dropped. And I did eventually get it dropped. And Dad had a huge argument with whoever over the phone about, you scammed my autistic son! You took advantage of his mentality!
That. No, because the person on the phone was like, are you sure your son
Yes,
didn't
I'm
want
sure!
It?
Do you want me to call him up?
Yeah,
he's right here in the room!
And he was literally just going, my son has autism. He does not want to read the Wall Street Journal.
Yes! But this is exactly what happened to my dad. He said he was approached by people while he was...
I just want to interject something really quick. What you have to do to those people...
Slap him in the face and run.
No, I would literally just go, oh, I'm already subscribed to the WSJ. I love the Wall Street Journal, dude.
No, I could totally see them being like, are you sure? Just like the person on the phone.
People at school will ask me, are you registered to vote?
Actually, dude, I want to be totally honest.
I don't have a problem with the people that try to get you to register to vote. I get that that's cool and everything.
I actually made a vow.
I don't need to vote when I'm in Boone at school. But they'll be like, are you registered to vote in Boone? And I'm just, yeah, absolutely, bro. And I keep
God heard my vow. Because I made a vow the next day. And the next day, all the solicitors were gone. Not the next day, but in the very near future. But I made a vow that day that if anybody ever tried to solicit anything from me again, I would ignore them. If they wouldn't leave me alone, I'd say no and then walk away. And if they didn't ignore me then, I would run over, punch them in the face, and book it. And I actually said, I don't think I would fall through on it. But I made a solemn vow looking up into the sky, like a dramatic monologue. And it never had to happen.
Tears streaming down.
Yes, exactly. But that's exactly what happened to my dad. He won't admit it. But that's exactly what happened to my dad. He says he was in the phone store looking for phones that he could buy for me. Perfectly fine. Dad, thinking forward for me. And then people approached him, and he was like, oh, what are you looking for? I was like, oh, my son, he broke his phone. He needs a new one. It's like, oh, that's real bad. That could just stop working at any second. You know, the fear-mongering he was already going through. He was like, you should switch this over.
The brand new one you just bought could stop working at any second because it's a piece of garbage.
Yeah. And they were like, we can actually get you the exact same phone model and switch it over, the phone number, right now in the store. And we'll, like, put a discount on it or whatever. And he was like, oh, really? Oh, okay.
I don't get that. Did you know something? If you want to switch your phone number over really quickly to a new device, all you have to do is just take out the SIM card and put it into the other phone.
But and that's
how are they advertising that like it's some kind of service?
When Mom told me about this, she literally was like, I just got off a phone call. You can't use your old phone anymore. She said, Dad already switched it over.
Oh, goodness.
They got him. And I tried to convince him, Dad, this is exactly like what happened to me. You were hypnotized. They preyed off of your mentality, and they forced you through, like, social conventions to just, like, go with the flow of where they wanted to lead you. And
this is the worst thing you've ever told me.
I know.
This is the worst. I'm upset.
Here's the thing. Again, I don't like talking bad about people behind our back, but our dad has a mentality. He's got a certain mentality. He refused to apologize for this. He refused. And at first I was like, can you admit that you were wrong? Then I was just like, can you just apologize for the inconvenience?
Has he ever done that, Jonathan?
No. And it's, again, I don't like talking bad about people behind their back. And this is why, well, actually, did I ever finish that statement? I was telling you, this was right after the dentist appointment. When we wanted to record the podcast last, this is why I said I don't think I was in the right mental state to do it. I was very mad at him.
Dude, I'm mad for you.
But he doesn't like to give us leeway, because if he says we're wrong, then we'll, like, assume that he's wrong all the time or something. But he's not a bad dad, by the way. He's got something going on. He's got, like, he's afraid of something. He's got something on his back that's, like...
I know you hate Apple and iPhone.
Here's the thing, though. I was totally considering the phone.
And Android is open source, which is it's a good thing. Android being an open source operating system,
I love open source.
That's great. I wish iOS was open source. It's never going to happen, obviously. But Android is heavily owned by Google, despite being open source, and very much influenced by Google. And then also your phone is owned by Samsung.
Morals aside, though.
Like, you know, it's not like any of those companies are great companies.
Morals aside and technology...
But iPhone is objectively the better operating system. iOS is objectively the better operating system than Android.
Is it really? Because I was going to say, morals aside and technology exclusively in the view... Google is kind of my favorite tech company. By their products
I would say, factually speaking, Android is built on Java. iOS is just built in C.
Yeah.
C is infinitely faster than Java. Yeah. Like iOS is just a better operating system.
Yeah, so it's not so much about the way it's built, but what it's built on.
Yeah, I mean, also Android being open source is, let's just say it's kind of like, in my opinion, it's kind of a bit cluttered because it's open source, and there's a lot of change constantly happening in the operating system, which leads to a lot of issues and discrepancies between versions and stuff like that. So, as much as I don't like Apple and their whole, like, first-party system and, like, nothing open source and all that, I do think that, like, iPhone is just a better operating system.
But here's the thing. I was seriously considering that phone, even with my hang-ups about Apple and how much I'm used to just Android, too. But the thing is, first of all, he had two excuses at the ready, which, again, he was hypnotized. I'm not trying to make him look bad. He was hypnotized. If I was in a higher position where I felt more justified and actually wanted the Wall Street Journal subscription or something, I would have excuses too. But his excuses were, one, I know how you are. You were never going to get that new phone unless I did it for you.
Okay, that is true.
I was about to say, that's basically true. But again, I mean, and then I have my excuses. Valid. They're excuses. I didn't want to spend money. I felt bad about it. But his next one was, and I kept trying to convince him that this wasn't the case, but he wouldn't hear it. He said, but you said you weren't sure about that phone, the one you suggested. And he said, which I know means that you don't like it and you'd never get it. But no, I was seriously considering it. And I'll admit, sometimes I say stuff like that. But that's part of his mentality. It's a yes or no. If you say maybe, it's no. Every time he gives me advice and I'm like, I'll think about it, he's like, oh, you never listen to me. It's like, I'm thinking about it.
I'm getting you a new phone for Christmas.
No, you can't, because now I just got this one. But
I know, that's why this is the perfect opportunity.
Last night was crazy. I wanted to drop this on the podcast, and I got so scared last night because I thought it wouldn't work. because I randomly spoke. Speaking about it was itself an intrusive thought, but I said randomly, the fan was going on in the living room, and I said, man, I just had the strongest intrusive thought to stick my phone.
I'm connecting it now.
To stick my phone up in the fan.
So mad at you when you said that.
To stick my phone up in the fan and just shred it to pieces. And I don't even know why I said that, but I was like, oh no, I just blew it. Dad's in the room. He's gonna say, we don't need to buy you another new phone, and then Jason would be like, another? Suddenly developing a country accent. Our dad does not have a country accent, by the way. He's from the north.
He's from Pennsylvania.
Our mom is from here, down in the south. But and then after that, I was just bored, and I was like slapping it on my leg, making a beat. And he was like, "Don't you do that?" And I was like, "No, surely that'll go." But miraculously, both times I did both of those stupid things, he just said, "Don't do that." He didn't say anything about like I gave him the perfect material to bring up.
It's crazy how you had the perfect opportunity to get a better phone.
I know, it's sad, bro. And this is actually why I said we need to bring this up now, before we go persimmon picking.
I just noticed the recording line goes all the way to the bottom of the screen.
It does. Before we go persimmon picking, this is why I said I needed to do the podcast first.
We also need to talk about my arm, and we're already...
You idiot! The persimmon is a long-term, long-game, long-con stretch segue to your arm.
We're 10 minutes overtime already.
This is going to be a 2-hour, 22-minute,
We're
22-second podcast.
We're getting lunch after this.
We're getting lunch after this, so...
Now I got to wash my hair first.
Exactly!
I'm so sweaty.
We have to hurry up.
Listen.
Oh my god.
It's Jover, bro.
It's Jover. Dude, hold on.
This should be the season finale.
No, dude. You're getting ahead of me. This is the season finale, you idiot. This is the season finale. I just haven't gotten there yet. Listen. Stop spoiling.
It looks like balls. It does look like balls.
They don't know what you're talking about.
They don't.
They don't know.
He just kicked a beanbag on a chair, and it's just draped off the chair, and it looks like a sack of balls.
A sack. Dude, this is my favorite episode of the podcast.
Okay. Kristen is coming over in like 15 minutes.
Oh no!
I told her to come over at 12:30 so we could get lunch. So
oh no!
Unless we're
and I'm dripping in sweat.
Unless we're having a special guest.
Oh man!
We could have Kristen on the podcast for a little bit.
That would be cool actually. Wait, hold on. Did the door just open? Is that her?
No, she's not here yet.
What, am I crazy?
Definitely not. Yeah, you're probably crazy.
I thought I heard.
Did not hear a single thing. Just focus. Let's keep on chugging. Keep on chugging.
Before we go persimmon picking, long-term segue.
Okay.
That's why I wanted to make sure we do this podcast, like I said, so I could bring up the fact that, because obviously when we're going exploring, this is a great thing to do. I don't have Pikmin Bloom on this phone yet. I carried over all the data, but here's the thing. Pikmin Bloom should be on my SD card.
SD card, yeah.
I think it fits on my system memory now. I got rid of all those pictures I had on the SD card or on the system memory. But I don't know why I didn't carry over. And I'm slightly worried that downloading it onto my system memory...
You moved the SD card from here to there?
Yeah, the actual SD card is
You'll probably need to reinstall the app still.
But then it'll want to do it to the system memory, won't it? Which is actually where I would want it to be now.
No. I think when you put the SD card in there, okay, it's the app data is on the SD card, but the system memory has to know, like your actual phone system has to know that the app exists.
So if I just download Pikmin Bloom, it'll be fine?
Yeah, probably.
And maybe you can help me move it from my SD card to my system memory after that.
Even if something is on your SD card, it has to exist on the system memory for it to know that it's an app.
It's funny, though, because even though I guess that's how that works, because even though the SD card is out, something in the system memory still knows
Pikmin. It'll still think that it's installed, yeah.
It's grayed out on the old phone.
Okay.
Persimmon picking. Okay. Here's where it wraps around.
It wraps around.
Guys, we are in a time loop.
Time loop.
Do you realize what the first episode of this season was?
Was it my arm?
Yes! And I was always thinking we should actually push that back into the last season, season 2, because it's the only one that doesn't have the modern design. And that's because there was a huge hiatus after it. But the reason why we called it season 3 is because there was also a huge hiatus before it. But it all wraps around. It's all coming back. Do you know what the tertiary and secondary theme of that podcast were?
What?
Persimmon picking.
Okay.
The persimmon was on the desk. It's persimmon season again. It's the same time of year, and we're about to go persimmon picking. If you guys don't know, watch that episode. I'm crazy about persimmons. We got one in our yard. They're my favorite
He is
fruit.
actually crazy, yeah.
I'm actually have me committed. It's insane. Put me in an institution. But here's the thing. The main running gag across the entire episode, and that episode had a ton of us laughing at each other and beating each other up too. Jason screamed into the microphone. It's happening again. Jason has another spider bite that's infesting his arm. It's the same gag.
For real.
He woke up and there's just a dot on his arm where Spider-Man would shoot his webs from. And when he pulls the 2 fingers in the middle that Spider-Man has, it like pulses something through him. And he's turning into Spider-Man. He got another spider bite.
It actually feels like I am.
It's
to be
crazy.
clear,
And it's perfect. He's left-handed Spider-Man because he's left-handed. It's your dominant
It's
hand.
been happening for a couple days, but there's like this weird soreness and almost like a numbness feeling in my arm. Same as when I had the quote-unquote spider bite.
This is what I mentioned, though. I've never seen this mole before, but just one day I noticed suddenly there was a mole on my foot.
I get moles a lot. But anyways, yeah, so I'm basically having the arm thing again.
Yeah, it's happening again. It's a time loop. But here's the real thing. Here's the real time loop.
What?
You finally get to hear about the story. We have to leave the setting, so I'm pulling up my camera.
Huh? We have to leave this setting?
Yes.
No, okay, well, your phone has terrible audio quality, so...
Oh, okay, so you should do it. Well, I don't want to be on video, though. So it makes sense for
I
me to
will
be the camera.
I'll record a voice memo, okay?
Well, no, I want the visual. I want the visual.
Yeah, we can combine the audio of mine with the video.
Well, my
of yours.
video quality is terrible, too, though.
Well, that's just going to have to deal.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm recording.
Look at how
Wait.
sad this setup is.
Okay, now you can... Okay.
Okay.
What's up?
Let's look at this. Do you remember the secondary topic? Also made it into the thumbnail of that episode. And it's perfect for talking about a time loop that we're in.
I thought it was that which can't be named on YouTube.
I don't know what you're referring to, but I'll not name it.
Okay.
What do you think this is? Right here. What do you think happened here?
Clock?
You don't remember the story? It made it into the thumbnail. My psychic clock.
Oh yeah,
destruction.
there is a clock. But wait, you're talking all that time ago? You were talking about the psychic clock destruction?
I killed 2 more clocks. One of them twice.
Wait.
We're down to the live, laugh, love.
The live, laugh, love clock.
One of these clocks died just from me looking at it again. And then Mom put batteries in it and it died again.
You're saying...
She switched to another completely different clock. It died.
I remember you explaining to me this psychic clock thing recently, but you're saying all the way back at the first episode of this season, you were talking about the psychic clock thing?
Yes, but that
Really?
was the other clocks.
So that's been going on for this long?
Yes, it never stopped. And now you finally home to see the carnage of just me looking at clocks. This one's invincible for some reason.
And
it's still going, right?
yeah.
And is it 12?
Dude, can you imagine if it fell down right now?
That would be insane. Oh my
That would be like an actual, this would be like found footage.
I know.
But,
I don't know what it is about me. I just destroy clocks.
that's crazy that, we're in a time loop and you keep destroying clocks of all
I
things.
know. It's some weird thing. Let's go back to the podcast. I went to Barnes and Nobles and got the complete Guardians of... why did I say that? Wrong Galaxy series.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Okay, I'm going to stop my voice memo now.
Okay, I'm going to stop my video now.
Oh, I got to close this door. So we've done a complete time cycle. Is that the term?
And
maybe?
yeah, so I feel like, aside from maybe a Nintendo-specific episode, which technically doesn't count as part of the podcast.
Yeah, we can make one in the meantime between seasons. How about
This is the end of the season because it validates the start of the season and it goes full circle. just like Puzzle
dude.
Quest Galactrix.
Galactrix, yeah.
Yes.
Of course. You were right when you said that the season would just end at some point that felt natural.
Yes, I know things, Jason.
Yeah, you do, clearly. Well, that was something.
I'm the bro host. I'm covered in sweat.
You are. And I'm the co-host, and I'm not really sweating that much, to be honest. But my arm hurts.
And this has been the Escape Podcast.
Season 3.
I was gonna make a joke saying we're finally direct competitors to the other Escape Pod podcast. They can't even make a portmanteau. It's right there. Just stick it together.
For real.
Because now you're a Spider-Man. I gotta become Venom though. I gotta get a symbiote.
We need to figure out how we can make it so that when you search for our channel, theirs doesn't come up exclusively.
It started showing up on the side, guys. We're the better. There's a drawing. We're working in the space themes. There's a little glitch of it in the intro. There'll be more when we come back.
When we come back, season 4. This has been season 3.
This is
Thanks for
everything
watching
has been leading up to
season
this
3.
moment and beyond.
Our best season so far, if I do say so.
Yeah, I do say so.
I would hope so.
Our last episode seems like it's performing pretty well, but we're going on too long.
We're going on too long.
We will see you guys next time,
Also,
whenever that may be.
Actually, yeah. Yeah. See ya.
Bye.
Okay, now I want to say...
Like, you made it into the after thing.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Maybe a bit late for that. How long is our outro sequence?
Yeah, maybe we need to start the video saying that instead of.
Well, see, the thing is, that's one of those fake things for me. I feel fake every time I say it.
I know.
You go back to the last episode where you
putting it
said
at the end.
subscribe, and there's like a pause before I do I want to say subscribe? Then he already said
That's
it.
why we say it as a joke. Kind of. I always have to make it
like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Comment down below.
But no, seriously, do keep us alive while we hibernate.
Yeah, make it.
While we cryogenically freeze in space. Coming back.
That would be a cool way to open the next season.
Yo! We're doing it.
Yeah, drop comments for the next season, what you want to see in the next season, what you liked about this season. Give us something to read and be happy about in the meantime.
It's in your hands. You're shaping the future of the podcast.
Yeah, you can shape
If
the
there has
future.
ever been a reason to comment, this is
the reason.
now. It's happening.
Oh my goodness. What? He just did like
a horse kick.
Dolphin dive. I don't even know. Yeah.
Man.
Dolphins don't have legs. So. Okay. I've been the co-host.
I've been the bro host.
Goodbye.
Bye again.